Happy Saturday, everybody. I was gonna drop a video yesterday, and I was just got lazy and played like a bunch of Armor Core. I actually got like kind of addicted into like the arena and shit because Damon X Machina is coming out next month, and then Mech Warrior Shadow of Kerensky. That's the name of the DLC. I'm gonna get those, and then obviously Ghost of Yota. And then that's it. Like, I just don't feel as if I can learn that much more from the video game experience. Like, I just squeeze the sponge as much as I can, and every last drop of creativity, the creative, inklings, this and that. All right. Like, call me a parasite for, like, being so apprehensive, but I just don't want to release a video game, especially since I've been out of the loop of, like, next gen gaming for, I'd say, about roughly three to 4 years, right? Because I just stuck to PC side and did modding with Supreme Commander #1. If people know what that game is, I congratulate you. If you don't, like, don't bother. You need you need a special computer to run it because like this was during the age where computers literally had one processor. There was not like this multi-processor type thing. So yeah, here we are. So I literally watched Rehabroom's video like twice, maybe three times. And like, the first time I wasn't paying attention and stuff, and then the other two times I was just like, whatever, right? I don't know why. The whole day I was like a little kid. I was like, oh my god, it's like Christmas. It's like Christmas. It's finally gonna happen. It's finally gonna happen, right? Like Rehab Room has to address, the world issues, like the way the world is changing and shit. He said he's not from an Anglo-Saxon country. Like he doesn't like speak English, so I'm guessing German or whatever, right? And like, it's funny because he showed this guy in Ontario, Toronto, like this well-known like brown guy who like sells his what do you call it, dating course for like guys, but like he's obviously like a discount version of Andrew Tate, but like they're all in that same like insecure, but I'll just wear my insecurities with my extravagant bank account and like like extreme spending and shit. And he's showing the video of this guy. I think his name is like I like Drunk Justin or something like that. I forgot he had another name. Ugh, whatever. So uh I was hoping he was gonna address it. I was just like, oh my god. It's the day, like his video dropped, and I'm so happy. I go and I fucking smoke a big ass joint. I'm like, yep, I'm gonna get like totally like into the scene, but then out of nowhere, it's like he's just like he assassinated completely unrelated video I'm showing here. I gotta get on my lore videos. Holla at your boy, Honored Man. Whatever. Take this fucking summer off. It's too hot to do anything anyway. You fucking making lore videos. Do that during like the fall season when everyone was just depressed and they're just sitting around their computer. I was like, what do I do? Oh, the lore video. Okay, I'll watch this now. Oh, but for real. Um, and it's not getting like better. It's getting much worse. Like the problem isn't just, oh, you've kept it out of the public view and like discussion for so long. How could you know? It's like you've done it and you're complicit with continuously doing it. Like if we didn't call you on it, you would have constantly did this, and you were actively trying to silence people from bringing this up. And like I wouldn't try to like throw shade on the guy, but like he did quote the Quran, right? So I'm just like, curious because if he is the unvocal voice of the incels, right? Whether it be Islamic or otherwise, it's important to know like how these people feel or like what he feels as their un requested representative. Now, that being said, what do you think he said? What do you think he said? It's always somebody else. It's always somebody else. I mean, the TF comes out, gets like everybody exposed, and like all the like the idea that females on the other side are just like the males on his side, on Rehabroom's side, and then you see like Hassan like tripping out, like he's like, oh my god, why don't people like me? Oh man, and like whew, the whole thing about who has to stay and who has to leave, like it's the discussion that aroused from the first world nations, right? When it came to, I would guess, people who lived in a highly disadvantageous position, like in their hometowns, they were, nobody special. But then they go travel abroad, and now they can find love, and this is very, very typical, etc., etc. Right? Um, and that was the onset of it, right? Like the beginnings, the whispers of the bleeding of mankind out into other nations, other territories, right? The expansionism of our species made manifest, if you will. But then after a while, it became a requirement. Like some people who are native born in certain uh, areas, nations, hemispheres, if you will, do not have such luxuries of finding true love and happiness. Oh, how woeful. I It is, but it's also like the desperate situation type of thing. Like I'll give you a little bit of 2 cents from where I'm coming from, right? So, growing up, I wanted to be around my fellow brown people. There's all these white people around me. I was angry. I was like, why? I want to be with the people who look like me, right? Well, little did I know that the people who looked like me didn't want to be with me. Oh, they didn't want to be with me at all. They said I was dark. They said I was dumb because I couldn't speak their language, Hindi, Punjabi, whatever, right? And after a while, like I started to realize, like these guys are exceptionally, like for people from a place like India or whatever, right? Punjab, whatever. Like they look exceptionally like light skinned, fair skinned, whatever, right? It took me like the entirety of high school and like, talking to them to realize their internalized, racisms and this and that. But that's what it was. It was a desperate situation. You had about three, four hot brown girls, and that's me being generous. It's more like two or one. I don't know. Fuck. It was so long ago, but like the desperation of that situation, and those girls, they knew how valuable of an asset they were. And like this isn't something that is limited to just high school. You go to countries and like again, I can't speak about other people and their cultures and stuff, but specifically brown people, oh my god, these girls have their fucking head up their ass. Like for people who like cuz I dated this girl who like she wasn't the most um what do you call it? Shallow person. You know what I mean? Like she was very intelligent, but she wasn't like she never wore makeup. She never really wore revealing clothing. She came from a good family. Her family, like I think her dad was a doctor, and then she was studying to be a doctor. Her older brother was something, like they were like a family of people who were abstract from the whole. And like she wasn't even like I only dated her after high school, but like I bring this up is because like as far as my culture goes, like the vast majority of them, like out of the insulation of having a doctor as a parent, like you're gonna encounter like really low class like desperation filled individuals that will test you for absolutely no other reason other than the fact that they can, right? Like the idea that is lost on, I think, brown culture that other cultures seem to recognize and understand a little bit is like, the initial phase of being more sympathetic than usual, being more understanding rather than being hypercritical from the from the very get go. And like it's that kind of desperation that you get from people around the world where life is a cheap commodity and your life is worth less than the factory that you're working in or whatever the conditions and all that stuff, etc., etc. Right? So when I'm dealing with like these kinds of incels that don't understand that, right? Like they don't understand that when you mass produce life, like no one's saying that it's a bad thing, but it's implied, right? So in the case of showing off this guy, this foreign guy, and like punking him, and like he was talking about how like guys have to start dating young or like get in a trade and make money, all that stuff. Like the thing that he forgot to include was like how having his standards has isolated him in specificity, right? Whether or not he can or anybody can extend those circumstances to other individuals, right? You have to know them personally. But in the case of Rehab, he's making all these videos, this, that, right? Formerly known as Incel TV. Like, it's more than obvious that, why are the Muslims coming to Europe beyond, welfare and this so-called invasion? Well, if you look at most of them, they're mostly guys. And yeah, yep. Mudahar comes out, addresses the allegations in terms of like people calling him an engineer, admits that he's not an engineer, and then that's it. Doesn't address any of the gay allegations. Doesn't address anything else. So like, why did you delete your stuff? Why did you this? Why did you that? Like, no, I'm not an engineer. All right, case closed. Everything back to normal. I'm not homosexual whatsoever. Motherfucker got, and it's just like it's not like one of those things where it's just some guy saying it, dude. When you hear the stuff that's coming out of your goddamn fucking mouth, like holy shit, my guy, like if I said that to about a guy friend, even if I was just joking about it, I'm drunk and he's not around me and shit, but he heard that I said that, he would come up to me and fucking smack me, or just like, what the fuck did you say? Or just like, at the very least, if he was my friend, he would just stop talking to me permanently. Cause that's what men do. You know what I mean? You don't let shit like that fucking slide. Like, come on, man. What the fuck? But that's the kind of like culture that you got. Like, okay, so very much with Rehabroom, right? He is associating himself with like the people in his chat room. He's talking about how like on Friday he can't, talk to anybody, this, that, I'm like, wait a minute, didn't you see that T app? Didn't you see those girls on that T app? Like, what are they doing? They're criticizing like, these so-called picturesque alpha, take your girl type of man, you know what I mean? And instead of like finding camaraderie and like similarity between the two of you, despite your constant belief that you have nothing in common with the other gender, or the other gender is just this unreachable thing. But that's the thing, right? Like, he even acknowledges that he is this thing called sub 5. So I'm guessing that means he thinks he's ugly. Like, 10 is like perfect. What the fuck? Your perfect cell? you, you absorb your male and female androids and you go fucking perfect cell. Your perfect 10. You got your 10 DNA chromosomes or some shit like that. But like, okay, but like, you're sub 5. You got kicked in the stomach by Gohan. You like spat out. You don't have a girl anymore. You look like some fucking frog. Okay, but like, for real. Um, fuck, what was I talking about? No, like, the idea that, and here I'm gonna be sympathetic to the idea that this is like brand fucking new news. Like, even Asmongold, even most of the people, Cash Jordan, they didn't even know about it till 2 3 days after the fact, and I just knew about it from the jump. But I don't feel like responding to it constantly, like bringing it up and stuff, and it's like it's depressing and shit. And like, even here, like, it hits hard to home. Like, the idea that these motherfuckers can't pray out in the streets and shit like back in the day, like they could, and the shit's changing now. And it's like, what's this law I'm hearing in Greece about this 5 year sentence? Oh my god, dude, the world is changing, my guy, changing. But it took so long, so long, so much healing to change, right? So long and so much healing to change. And like, that's not the craziest part. The craziest part is like, well, if Rehab doesn't want to accept, his looks match, his number match, the matching number to his appearance, well, then he has to do this one thing, and you know what that is, right? He's gotta jump on that rainbow. He's gotta, you know, do the deed, like Mudahar. Just wear a mask, wear a cloak, keep secrecy. And like, even though I'm like laughing at it with this and that, it's the inevitability of these guys. Like, they're gonna hit that impasse where, oh shit, there's no more girls. The fuck did we do? We came to this country. There's like, was it a population of like, whatever million, and then of those million, like, let's say 2 million of them were female. Of those 2 million females, only like one of them, one, no, like, point 0.8 is like, can give birth and stuff. The rest are like too old or too young or whatever, or married off and stuff. And then of those point 0.8, only like 0.001 is attractive or some shit like that. And then they're just like, they're fucking screwed. Like, the idea that the internet is your friend is such a fucking cope, my guy. No, it's not. Rehab, when you're talking to these random people on the internet and stuff, and saying like, this is comfort for me, no, no, because I hate to say this, the internet was your enemy all along, and you didn't know it. You couldn't realize it, like, you couldn't put a target on what your issues were, and I figured it out years ago, right? And if, for me personally, I think that looking at this ideal, picturesque version of life, when it came to like specifically, women in my culture, was just such um, a fictional belief. Like, it came with a caveat of, if your parents wanted you to get married, then yes, you would, but only if, right? And if you have like, issues or reasons, like, an older brother, right? Like, whatever, right? Like, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna work out until. And then even when that happens, it's just like, oh shit. Trouble in paradise, you motherfucker. I hate being I hate being this thing that people call attractive because I don't feel like I am. You know what I mean? Like I go to the barber, I get my hair cut, and on purpose he's cutting my bangs. This bald ass motherfucker. And I bring this up just because, like, yeah, rehab. I know you're fucking involved. Or you have to like fucking transplant and shit. Yeah, you get the fuck up out of here, my guy. And it's like one of those things that like I secretly am jealous of bald people because it's like, well, you're bald, so you can just shave it all off and like work out like mad and shit. But like the inevitable truth is like they don't actually work out anyway, so it doesn't. It's like just like a net negative for them. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm supposed to be discussing this like serious topic about these homosexuals finding their place in a world because it's like I think when you think about it like think about the benefit of having this illegal immigrant Islamic whatever, right, taken away. Like these guys are fucking psychopaths, right? And Mudahar's not that bad of a guy. And from what I can tell about Rehab, I never met the guy. Like, he seems like a peaceful person. Now, these are guys you can, like, so you could stomach them, you could stand them. I don't think I can handle, like, staying in a room too long with Hassan, man. Like, I'm just gonna have to leave, you know? I'm just gonna, like, this guy's a fucking idiot. I am going to incriminate myself through, like, second degree, third degree murder. It's like, Your Honor, I blacked out. The judge is like, all right, cool. You complete insanity. Everybody does when listening to this guy. His parents did. But like for real, like they're not the worst unreachable types of people that are detestable and this and that. That's just honestly why I was like puzzled as to why so many people went after Mudahar. But Mudahar, you made the 5 series, okay? It's your fault. It's your AI and your engineering. You engineered too much. You engineered too close to the sun, and now you're an engineer no more. You lost it. All the nuts and bolts, and gears, and screws, it's all gone.